Roll call, please.
Kim Crupper. Here. April Fabella. Here. Ronnie May.
Here.
Bob Perry.
Here.
Rick Skinner.
Here.
Jenna Smith. Here.
Okay, everybody's here. We have a quorum. Welcome. Call this meeting to order of Monday, August 3rd, 2026. I would ask Councilman Crupper to say the invocation and followed by a pledge of allegiance.
Our Father, thank you for the day you blessed us with, another day of life, a beautiful day that it has been. Thank you for just bringing us all here tonight, that we can conduct our city business for our citizens and just guide, direct each and every one of us in our decisions that we make, and just for the goodness of what we do here in this country, of the freedom that we have to make these kind of decisions. Guide and direct us and forgive us of our sins where we fail. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Welcome. Those of you who are guests, I hope you had a chance to sign in. If you did not, please do so. A couple announcements. Our next regular council meeting will be August 18th at 6 p.m. I am asking for a caucus meeting of the council at 5 p.m. that same night. There's some things I'd like to discuss, and I'll briefly go through that in a minute. September 7th is Labor Day. All city offices will be closed for Labor Day, and therefore our regular meeting in September will be the 8th on Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then everyone should remember 16th to the 20th of September, A Nation Remembers Veteran Tribute. It's going to be a great 3 days throughout the county, actually. And then Williamstown will sponsor a parade on that Friday. So just a few things to put in your calendar. Mayor's update. Want to go over a couple things. Webb Park. So we've had significant progress at Webb Park this past couple weeks. The asphalt has been installed on the tennis courts. The basketball courts have been resealed, which we added actually the last couple of minutes. Fences around the basketball court should go up in within 2 weeks. Striping for both courts areas will be completed in approximately 30 days when the asphalt completely cures. Just as an FYI, the city is also preparing to pour concrete pads for the new picnic tables and trash receptacles that are coming. So the picnic area at the Webb Park, we're going to put, I think, 3 concrete slabs. We're going to buy 3 new picnic benches, if you will. They will go on the slabs so that people don't have to walk around in mud and dirt. We bought, I think, 3 or 4 sets of trash cans, heavy duty, double trash cans that will also go on concrete, and they will be permanently affixed to the concrete, permanently if they can. Together, these improvements will create a cleaner, safer, and more welcoming recreational space for residents and visitors. So slowly we're getting things done down there. The tennis courts will have, besides striping for tennis, pickleball will be there. Cemetery. We do have a speaker tonight who wants to talk about the cemetery, but I'd like you to know that the city's maintenance team has completed a significant amount of work at the cemetery this past week. Actually, the past 2 days. I certainly understand the community's frustration regarding the large trees that have fallen. It's taken us a while to, we cut one up and took it away today. We removed a lot of the brush that was piled in the cemetery. There is still a large tree down, and there's a couple of trees that need to come down. They're dead and they're gonna come down. We're gonna have to contract a vendor. We've already located one, we've contracted him. It should start in the next week or two, so that one big tree that's over several headstones will be removed and removed correctly. We certainly recognize the importance of properly maintaining the cemetery and just ask for a little more patience from everybody as we complete that. I've scheduled a special caucus meeting on Tuesday, the 18th. I'd like to dedicate the full hour to the focused discussion of the water department and the water treatment plant. Topics will include the city grant applications related to the zebra mussel mitigation, current and future infrastructure needs, and the long-term funding necessary to fully maintain and support the water plant. This discussion will help the council evaluate the plant's needs and consider how best to ensure the continued reliability and sustainability of the city's water system. Additional details will be presented at the 18th meeting. I've invited several representatives from the Northern Kentucky Area Development District, along with our engineer who's working on this with us, Ken Vaughn from Ken Byron Engineering, to participate in the caucus meeting. They will provide an overview of the grant funding opportunities being pursued, the work completed to date, and the progress made on the city's applications. They will also be available to answer questions and explain the importance of moving forward on the proposed infrastructure improvements to protect the long-term operation and reliability of our water system. So it's going to be a two-pronged caucus meeting. One, I want to update everybody on the grants that we are pursuing for this zebra mussel project. We are now involved in about 4 different grants. So we're trying to do this without any expense to the city, which I think is, in some of these cases, I think feel real good about it, getting some award money. The other piece to this is just communicating to the council the current infrastructure and the need to protect that infrastructure in the future. And what does that mean? And we'll go through that on the 18th. And meanwhile, I will probably send out some information. Any questions on any of those? The public ramp at the lake, next Monday, I believe, we will adding a dock to that ramp so people can dock their boats as they come up, along with lighting, so people can see it at night. Bob?
Yeah, I'd like to say something for y'all. If you're aware, this year is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Also, I help run a Veterans Bass Tournament out there, and we meet with all of the veterans and the people that are fishing, and we meet at a meeting in a restaurant on Friday night and have a free meal and eat, and then they draw who they'll fish with. But that will be on September the 12th, and just invite anybody who'd like to come down for the weigh-in. I think, Mary, you're coming this year.
I'm coming on Saturday, yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
it's Saturday, so it's really a good thing. And a couple years ago, we had a Reverend fly in from New York and gave a prayer and everything before we started. So and I fished with one guy and his son last year. They came from New York to fish in it, so they come from everywhere. So just invite anybody who wants to come to it. It's a very, very good time.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay. Moving to old business, correction approval of minutes from the regular council meeting of July 21st. I believe Crystal emailed these out to you this afternoon. There's also a hard copy in front of you. If you need to take a couple minutes to go through them, please do, and then I will take a motion. We have a motion by Councilor Smith to accept the minutes as presented of July 21st, 2026. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Second by Councilor Perry. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Kim Crupper,
Yes.
April Fabella.
Yes.
Ronnie Maines.
Yes.
Bob Perry.
Yes.
Rick Skinner.
Yes.
Jenna Smith.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. We are now at the second reading of ordinance 2026-10, the budget amendment from the fiscal year 2025-26. Mr. Morgan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is ordinance number 2026-10, an ordinance of the City of Williamstown and Grant County, Kentucky, amending its budget for the City of Williamstown pursuant to KRS 91A030 subsection 10 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027, and providing that no money shall be expended by or on behalf of the City of Williamstown except in accordance therewith. Be it ordained by the City of Williamstown and Grant County, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. Pursuant to the requirement of KRS 91A030 sub 10, the City of Williamstown shall during the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2026 and ending on June 30, 2027, operate and be operated pursuant to the budget attached hereto and made a part thereof by reference, with those additions being underlined and the deletions being designated by a broken line through the words or figures. The changes are specifically as follows. Operational tax revenues are expected to increase from $570,000 to $800,700. Capital improvement appropriations will be increased to $1,115,150 from $884,450 to account for $200,700 for the Welcome Center and $30,000 for the audio system. Garbage collection expenses are increased from $350,000 to $395,000. The estimated revenue for the city enterprise funds will be increased from $4,122,500 to $4,272,500 based on increased estimated revenues from Williamstown Electric Company, a transfer of $90,000 out of the payment in lieu of tax or pilot fund. An increase to Williamstown's cable company is needed. Capital expenses are needed to be increased by $350,000 to account for the $325,000, which is Williamstown's portion of a matching grant that is expected to be received from the Energy and Environment Cabinet, and $86,700 to help pay for increased capital costs associated with the tornado damages. The details of these changes are in the attached memorandum and spreadsheet affixed to this ordinance. Section 2 says the provisions of this ordinance are severable, and the invalidity of any provision of this ordinance shall not affect the validity of any other provision thereof, and such other provisions shall remain in full force and effect as long as they remain valid in the absence of those provisions deemed to be invalid. Section 3 says all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 4, this ordinance shall be effective as soon as possible according to law. Section 5 says this ordinance shall be published in summary pursuant to KRS 83A060 subsection 9. There's a line for the mayor to sign, attested by the clerk, and then the paperwork beyond that shows in detail the changes to the budget that I just read. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. As I'm looking at this, the dates are July 1st, 2025 and ending June 2026. So that's a typo.
Glad you caught that. So it should read from 2025.
To 2026.
This was for last year's budget?
Yes.
Okay. That should also be changed effectively in section 1. the second line beginning, fiscal year beginning on July
Yeah.
1. Thank you for that correction.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve budget amendment with the changes and the dates as we just discussed.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Councilor Maines, is there a second?
I'll second that.
By Councilor Fabella. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call please.
Kim Crupper,
No.
April Sabella,
Yes.
Ronnie Maines,
Yes.
Bob Perry,
Yes.
Rick Skinner,
Yes.
and Jenna Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Next on old business. Oh, that's it, okay. Going on to new business. We have Dennis Stanley, who is our sexton of our cemeteries. And he has asked to address the council regarding cemetery and cemetery cleanup project. You have about 10, 15 minutes, Dennis.
First off, I'm here not to come up with any formal proposal tonight. I'm here to gauge the interest of the council to see if we want to proceed with this. But let me do a couple of things. I want to give you a very, very brief history on Williamstown Cemetery. Some of you know about this, but some of you don't. Cemeteries primarily around the United States were begun either by churches for their local membership or fraternal organizations. That's pretty much how most cemeteries began. Williamstown Cemetery, the very first section closest to Mill Street was the Williamstown Regular Baptist Church Cemetery. Went out of business early 1900s. Don't know exactly when. The next section was started by the International Order of Odd Fellows, which was a lodge, one of the largest lodges throughout the United States. We had a very active lodge here. You've seen some things in the newspaper and things about different events that occurred with them. So they started that. The Odd Fellows were known, they were called Odd Fellows because they took care of widows and they took care of cemeteries. And so people said they're a bunch of odd fellows, so that's how they got their name. But in any case, the local lodge was very active here, and they started that. However, they went out of business or closed up sometime in the 1940s, I'm guessing 30s or 40s, something like that. My dad used to tell me in the 1950s and late 40s, the cemetery grew up into just a wilderness. You couldn't find graves. If you were to have a burial out there, you had to take a sickle out and you had to literally cut your way in to find a spot and then dig a grave, and then it would just grow back up. Nobody took care of it. The community, I think, was ashamed of the way the cemetery looked, and in the 1950s, again, not sure the exact date, but it was in the 50s, the city of Williamstown decided they needed to do something about it, so they took it over. And they started taking care of it. At that point, they appointed a sexton from the community. I'm the most recent one. So this is where we go. What sort of brought this to the head, well, let me back up. I have always been sort of ashamed of the old part of the cemetery. When monuments were put in, many of them, most families did it themselves. They might put some rock underneath it for foundation. They might put nothing under it. They just set a monument there. The bigger the monuments, the more they did some work on them. But there's been a lot of monuments over the years that have fallen, creeled, that means leaning, turned over, slid off the base, out of line, you name it. A lot of that has come from weather, tornadoes, heavy rains, ice. In the wintertime, water gets underneath them, ice expands them, and it causes them to slide. And then we've had vandalism. We've had situations where the court found the vandals, the court appointed them, told them to go back out and help straighten up the cemetery. They did more damage than good, drove the cemetery guys nuts trying to keep them in line and that sort of thing. So forget that. It just doesn't work. So in any case, following these tornadoes, I've been out there looking to see what I might see is damaged underneath these trees. I even have some family that's underneath some of them. So I've been noticing, and then I'm discussing this with my son, and my son is very interested and helps me a lot with the cemeteries. And he mentioned this idea, and then I have followed along with it and talked to the mayor about it. We've wondered about putting together a take a week or 2 weeks, one maybe in the spring, one in the fall, something like that, and declare it a cemetery cleanup week and ask for volunteers. Now, what it takes to clean up the cemetery is it takes equipment, it takes manpower, it takes time. Not a lot of materials, and then it takes some expertise. Somebody needs to know what they're doing. You can't just stick a crowbar underneath the monument. It will chip or break. So you have to know what you're doing. So our thought is, and I have talked to the guys here with them at the funeral home and my son, they're willing to volunteer some time and volunteer the truck. I've talked to my brother who's retired. He's willing to volunteer some time. And we would invite people to come to the cemetery. It would need to be adults, but particularly we thought maybe church groups or fraternal groups or clubs that might just say, hey, let's go do this. I'm not looking at many people. 10 to 15 would be my thought. At that point, then, each of us that know what we're doing would take 2 or 3 of them as manpower, and we would then take a section and start working on it and cleaning up. May have to set monuments off, replace the foundation, may just be able to repair the foundation. When it comes to materials, what we'd need, and Mr. Krupper will know about this, is probably a truckload of lime sand and bags of saccrete. Quite a few probably, I don't know. We need also caulking. There's a special compound that's used to seal a monument, to put the two together. And the main reason we seal it is to keep water out, to keep that ice from sliding it apart. Compound is extremely expensive, just to be honest. It's like $85, $90 for a quart, and it doesn't go very far. So I would suggest we use a good quality caulk. We can caulk them, that will work. It's just not the accepted practice, but a lot of people do it, particularly when it comes to repairing. The expense of the lime sand, the caulk, and the saccrete, probably the city can get a better deal than I could buy it. So I would think the city that would be an expense of the city. The other thing would be we would need a clerk, I'll call it a clerk, somebody from the city that could come out in the morning to log in whoever's volunteering and to get them to sign a liability release. We would definitely have to have that before working. My thought would be we do it 5 days, Monday through Friday, and see how that goes. After we do it one time, it may be the last. It may not work well. Or we may do it like, my thought is spring and fall. I presently pour and foundations, monument companies pay the city, contact me, I go out and I see that the foundation is dug. We pour concrete, wet concrete, 20 to 30 inches deep underneath every monument. Then we contact the monument company and they set the monument. They're in charge of setting it. We don't touch the monument, but they don't set it without us having a proper foundation and in their proper location. That has always been a problem. So most all of our recent ones, I'll say, I've been sexting over 30 years, believe it or not. But almost every one that I can say in the last 40 years has been put on a proper foundation. A few of those will settle or creel, and when I'm setting other stones, I tend to try to straighten those or level them a little bit. That's not the problem. The problem are the ones from 1800 or the ones in the section where people have pushed over. And there's a lot of monuments in the old section, the 1800 section, that are new because people still bury over there occasionally. There'll be a family member or something. So anyway, so what I'm looking at is, if the council thinks this is reasonable and you decide to do it, I would try to put together a formal proposal, give you a little better idea on cost and that sort of thing. I would also maybe, it might be possible to get a backhoe from the city to also assist. Wheelbarrows, spud bars, we need those sort of things, and we don't just go, we can't go buy, we've got several wheelbarrows, and but I only have one spud bar, and if you don't know what a spud bar is, it's a big iron thing. We need wood blocks, those sort of things. The wood blocks, no problem with us, and wheelbarrows is no problem, but spud bars and manpower. Manpower is it. Questions? Have I explained it fairly well to you?
Very well, Dennis,
Okay.
thank you.
Questions, please.
Comments, questions?
I think it's a good idea. It's,
I'm ashamed of it.
I'm ashamed of it too. My
Yeah.
family's out there.
Sure.
Other people that I know's out there, and
We have famous people out there that you don't know about. The guy that started Georgetown College, John J. Hill, he's buried out here.
rumor John Wilkes Booth is buried out there.
Well,
You-
supposedly.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Henry Newton was superintendent of
Okay,
Williamstown
the
High School.
elephant, and I have a question about, and maybe this isn't,
I'm the only one who knows about the elephant. Let's just skip that.
no,
I
but
have heard that.
what about getting some of the prisoners to come and help? Like,
I don't have a problem with that if I don't know who, I don't know the logistics of somebody having to watch them
I think.
to do the job.
They supervise their own,
Troy
they
Okay.
have then.
You know, and I don't have a problem with that.
I think Troy, doesn't Troy Hale, doesn't he do that over there? Troy Hale takes care of it.
I know Troy very well.
Just a thought.
I've known him since he was little.
He'll be glad to do it too. Other thoughts? Is this something that the council is interested in pursuing?
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Absolutely.
is there grants out there too? Because I know in Ohio, there's some cemeteries that got bad and there were some grants.
I was named to governor named me to a state committee looking into fixing up old cemeteries 30 years ago. And I'm going to tell you a little sort of a joke on myself and on the governor. At one of our first meetings, he said, it was a large committee, you know, all over the state. And he said, we're going to locate cemeteries in each county that that have nobody caring for them, none whatsoever. If they're mowed, we're not touching them. It's all right. And we're going to give each one $10,000. And I raised my hand and I said, do you have any idea how many cemeteries there are? And he said, oh, we're assuming maybe many as 1,000 cemeteries. And I said, Mr. Governor, Grand County alone has over 290 cemeteries. We've got, we're up about 320 now, by the way. We keep adding them. And he goes, oh, they couldn't be. And then my second thing I said was, how do you expect to locate these cemeteries? And he said, they're going to call the health departments. And I said, well, that won't work. Health departments have no idea. And he asked what I would propose. And I said, well, I would have funeral directors. We're the obvious ones that somebody says, I want to be buried in the Skinner Funeral Home, cemetery or whatever. And we do have one, by the way, Rick. But anyway, all of these different things. And I got at the next meeting, he started the meeting off by apologizing to me, which I thought was very good. I had laughed actually out loud when he first said it, because they had over 5,000 cemeteries turned in with only about 20 counties reporting. So they ended up giving each county had a committee. It was made up, and ours was Jagler was the chairman, and I was on that committee too. And we were instructed to find 5 cemeteries, and then they gave the jail money to go mow, clean them up, straighten them up, and take care of them each year. They bought a trailer, they bought equipment, and they did that for 4 or 5 years, and then the money ran out, and those cemeteries. But we had ended up identifying 8 cemeteries in Grand County that were large, Lebanon Presbyterian and on Brewer Farm, different ones. And so we looked after those. But I don't know of anything else from the state.
Yeah.
Now, there may be private grants, but I'm not aware of them.
You're not looking for a lot of money, you just need manpower as much as you.
Manpower is what we need, and then those things we need about Limesea and Sac
Yeah.
Creek. Yeah, and I don't think this is a huge, I'm thinking $3,000 to $5,000 would be really top, I would think. What's a truckload of limesand cost?
Well, you probably only need, out there at the cemetery, I would recommend just to get a 10-ton single
Yeah.
axle, but so you can put it in.
Yeah, I do that at another
places.
cemetery. I have it set there, and then so what would it run?
If you're getting 10-ton, you'd spend between $350 $400.
So less than 500 there.
Yeah.
Saccrete, I don't know, a pallet of Saccrete would run $800,000 or $900,000 maybe.
Probably, I don't know.
Dennis, why don't we do this? Why don't you, the council's interested, so why don't you put a proposal together and the items that you would need from the city and the cost approximately, and then the council can make a decision and we'll go forward. And we can identify a week in the fall.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, I really think it's a little too late this year to get this all together. And then advertising to ask for volunteers and limiting it. We're not going to want children. We don't want anybody that could possibly get hurt. But we also need to look into liability. And I need to see if I can have somebody, Crystal can get somebody maybe to come out, like I said, and 45 minutes in the morning just to sign them in so that we have it ourselves covered. So if you're in favor of this, I'll start working on it. I didn't see any sense in trying to spend a lot of time, then you want to say we don't want to do this.
Yeah, I think everybody's interested.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
My part of it, I would donate you a load of lime sand.
Yeah,
See,
see,
right there we
I
go.
think a lot of people would donate money. I mean, I would
Yeah.
donate money, because I got
I would
people.
do that.
We have people contacting us every day asking us to repair monuments. And it's, I don't have the time, don't have the materials, and they can't afford it, to be honest, what we'd have to charge to do it. It's not cheap. In this situation, we're not going to be taking them all out and pouring the 3-foot deep foundation. We're going to be taking it out, leveling it up, using the lime sand, maybe putting some sackcrete so that they're presentable. It doesn't mean 20 years from now that same one might not be settled again, but we do what we can.
I have a quick question then. So how many monuments, I mean, are affected? Like 500?
I'd say 1,500.
Okay.
Over 1,000, I would think, and maybe as many as 2,000. You don't realize it, you get out there looking. This is the largest cemetery in the county.
Yeah, for sure.
We do about 40 to 45 burials a year. We sell about 60 graves a year. Okay.
Dennis, you probably know, you can go to the library and there's a book there will tell you supposedly wherever cemetery is in the.
Yes, Virgil.
Supposedly.
Virgil wrote that. The problem with it, and I'll just help if you all go to it. He didn't put them in rows. He did them this direction. So you know you might see Crupper and Perry, but they're not together in the book. And the other thing is I tried to get him to use the correct sections, but he made up his own sections. So if you go to section 3 in the book, that's maybe section B out in the cemetery.
Well-
They don't call it, but we use it a lot. I have a copy of it.
What I was meaning, it supposedly names every cemetery in
Oh,
the
that
county.
book. Yeah.
That book, so there's probably.
Yeah, he has 2 books.
That's
The
correct.
Historical Society made 2 books on Grant County cemeteries. They're probably half of the cemeteries.
Really?
Yeah. And believe it or not, we start, I would say, 4 new cemeteries every year. We have started 2 in the last month.
Really? Like where?
Somebody wants to they bury in their backyard or on the back field, and one grave makes it a cemetery.
So can
And
people
I
just
tell
do that
people,
then?
if you have a $500,000 farm and you put a grave on it, it's now worth $250,000. And we had a few people come to us, oh, we'll never leave, we'll never sell it. And 10 years later, can you come and move Uncle Jack? Because nobody wants to buy our farm. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
Dennis, thank you, we appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council.
Okay, very good. You're leaving us? You don't want to stay? Okay.
I got several for you. I would love to take you on a tour of the cemetery.
We'll make it happen.
Plan on it.
Okay.
Mr. Skinner understands a lot of it. but-
Okay, next, under new business, resolution 2026-06. So, as I stated to you a few minutes ago, we have 3 or 4 grants that are happening, and it's all coming to a head. It's pretty near, well, some of them are. One of them is the EDA, Public Works and Economic Adjustment Grant. And we got a call from the ad about 6 weeks ago, and they said, and we had already done a lot of work on the rural development grant. And there's this bucket of money that is out there that is left over from the state of Kentucky, and they felt very good that we could get that money. We had to go through a whole nother process of filling out. Now luckily, most of the information we had somewhere else, so it was a matter of copying and paste, but it still is a booklet like that. The issue, well, not an issue, but along with that grant, it's a matching grant that if we obtain, we'd have to match. This before you is a resolution authorizing us, authorizing me to enter in agreement for what they call a grant. It is the amount of the matching fund that we would need should we get the EDA grant. I think it says up to $264,000. That would be the matching piece that the city would do. So if we got one, we would get this, and that would be our matching part. This is from the ad itself. This resolution, they need it signed in order to proceed. And I am before the council asking for authorization to do that.
Would this money go working on the zebra mussels?
Yes.
That's,
That's the, yeah, yes.
I don't have a problem with that. You need a motion to.
Yeah, I need a motion.
I make a motion that we authorize the mayor to sign the proper paperwork for the resolution that's presented in front of us, 2026-06, in terms of the grant application that has been presented for monies up to $264,142 as presented.
Motion made by Councilor Cropper. Is there a second?
Is the, I guess I'm a little confused,
Yeah.
the memorandum of understanding, is that part of this one?
No, that's coming up next.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilor Fabella. Roll call.
Kim Cropper.
Discussion, any discussion? I'm sorry. Roll call.
Kim Cropper.
Yes.
April Fabella.
Yes.
Ronnie Maines.
Yes.
Bob Perry.
yes.
Rick Skinner.
Yes.
Jenna Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Appreciate it. Next is the, before you is the a memorandum of understanding, which would be between the Northern Kentucky Ad and the city of Williamstown. This is for the administration of the grant that the electric department received a few months ago. It was a almost $1 million grant with matching funds that the city has matched. I think it's $320,000. This, as you can see, they will invoice us monthly at an hourly rate of $66.95, equating to $28,922.40, that they would invoice us monthly. This money would come out of the grant, so it's not money that the city is coming up with. It's part of the grant money itself. It would come out of the grant. They would do the administration. It's a huge administrative burden, and they, with the ad doing it, because it's a state grant with federal dollars, and the federal government, they're asking this, that, and everything else. And it makes it much easier if the ad administers it than the city of Williamstown. So I'm asking a authorization to sign the MOU with the Northern Kentucky Area Development District.
I guess, since this is a matching grant, I guess the responsibility, we're still out half this, but the half of it is grant money. Is that kind of way you would look at that?
For the electric one?
Yes.
No, that's so,
For this particular memorandum of understanding.
yeah, no, we're not out, we won't be out anything.
That's kind of surprising. And the reason I say that
Yeah,
is that, this was a matching grant that we had to match monies with.
right.
So I just would take it as granted that 50% of it, we should be responsible for. That's how I see that.
The grant, okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding your question. The grant was $900,000+. The city's responsibility was $320,000.
33% of it.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. You answered it.
Yeah. Anyone?
You need a motion? for
Yes,
that?
please.
I make a motion that we authorize you to sign the contract with Northern Kentucky Ad for the memorandum of understanding for the Williamstown Grid Resilience Project.
Motion made by Councilor Cropper. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
By Councilor Maines. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Ken Crupper.
Yes.
April Fabella.
Yes.
Ronnie Main.
Yes.
Bob Perry.
Yes.
Rick Skinner.
Yes.
Jenna Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes, thank you. I believe that's it on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion made by
To
Counselor
adjourn.
Perry to adjourn, is there a second?
I'll second that.
By Counselor Skinner, roll call, please.
Ken Crupper.
Yes.
April Fabella. Yes. Ronnie Mains.
Yes.
Bob Perry.
Yes.
Rick Skinner.
Yes.
Jenna Smith.
We are adjourned, thank you. So as soon as we get that signed.